All right, everybody, holiday craft number 2. We're going to make a small little ski cap, okay? I have a admiration for all things little and tiny. I actually live in a tiny house also. Yes, the kind of tiny house that you've seen on TV. I like to have small things in my life, I guess you could say. So when I saw this craft, I thought it was just so cute, and I had to make it part of our craft kit. So here we go. Super easy. It's a little bit time consuming, but I think it's well worth it with what you get. So you're going to have the little cardboard tube, toilet paper roll, if you will. I gave you red, white, and green colors of yarn, a long, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap, you see how I'm putting this just inside here, holding it with my finger, and then I'm going to wrap the yarn around until I don't have any more. Okay, so that's kind of going to go there. And then what I'm going to do with my scissors is just cut that. So then what I end up with is a whole lot of little strings of red, white, and green yarn. Okay, and they're all the same. All right, now I'm going to cut, and it's okay to kind of bend the tube a little. You don't want to crease it if you can help it. And I'm going to cut off, okay, a small little snippet of the tube. I'm going to say that's a little less than an inch. It's probably 3/4 of an inch. Sure, if you want to grab a ruler and measure it, go right ahead. Okay, it's about, 3/4 of an inch. Now, this is another time when you get to be creative. Okay, what you can do is you can figure out what the pattern of your hat is going to be. What I did was go red, white, green, red, white, green, red, white, green, and wrapped it all the way around like that. You could do red, 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 white, 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 green, 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 okay, and make bigger stripes. You could do all red, all white, all green, and just have 3, okay? So this is where you get to choose and kind of be creative with how you want to work it. So folding my yarn in half, okay? Putting it through, and then just looping the 2 ends through the loop, okay? And then pulling it tight. See that? So let's see, I got red, white, so in half, looping it through, pulling the 2 ends through, and pulling it tight. Obviously not so tight that you start to rip the toilet paper roll, but tight enough. Okay. Adjust the other one, put them next to one another. So there we go. Now we got 2 done. All right. One more I'll show you. That was the longer string I cut, and that's okay. It helps when these are all the same length. All right. Loop it through. 2 ends, and pull it through. Pull it tight. One thing you want to try and make is these ends even here, and if they're not, you can always just take it out. That's why it's kind of important to make sure that we're starting off with, even ends, putting it through and pulling it through, so that once it's pulled through, you don't have one end of the string that's longer than the other. Okay, so there you go. Now this is the part where it's a little time consuming, so you're just going to keep continuing on doing that. All right, and we'll be back when you're done with that. Okay, so you can see I went all the way around the tube. I made sure that everything was closely packed. Okay, if I could fit another one in there, I would. All right, it's going to look like this. Now you're going to see that a lot of the strings, I had 2 pieces that were a little longer. That's okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is you're actually going to flip everything through the center of the cardboard ring, okay? And you're going to pull everything out the bottom, okay? So pull it like that. It's going to go through. Okay, so it's going to kind of look the same, except you got everything coming through the bottom. Okay, Now, hopefully you have one piece or two pieces of yarn left. Grab one of them. I'm also making sure that these are, okay, all hanging down straight and not crisscrossy. Just using my scissors to kind of pick them. Okay. All right. So now you have them all like that. Squeeze it like this. Okay. Now I'm going to lay a piece of string down on the table. Okay. I think you can see that. I'm going to lay this here. Okay. Maybe about an inch up from, we'll call it the brim of the hat, the rim of the hat. Okay. So see like that. Got this string here, this string here. I'm going to tie once and pull it slow and pull it really tight. Okay. Pull it really tight. You want to make sure that it's down far enough that you've still got a lot of these little stringies hanging out the top. Okay. Then I'm going to tie another knot so that I have a nice tight knot that's not going to come out. Okay. You can move that string down just a little bit. Down, what I mean is closer to the curl of the hat, brim of the hat. What do you call this? Why can't I think of it? Okay. All right. Now, again, I'm just going to pull this, make sure that that knot is tight. Okay. Now you're going to take your scissors and you're going to start to trim. Because now what you're going to do is create the little ball of the hat. A little, I don't know why. I know that a hat is called a beanie, but we used to call these beanie hats, which doesn't make sense because today a beanie hat I don't think has the little ball on top. I don't know. As we were kids, we just called them beanie hats. So get a pair of scissors. I apparently have the worst non-sharp scissors in the world. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go get a good pair of scissors. Okay, I'm back and I got better scissors. These ones I'm just throwing over there in the garbage because they're horrible. Okay, so again, what you're gonna start to do is just trim. And trim a little at a time. You don't want to trim too much. It's kind of like cutting your bangs. A little at a time. Don't go too much all at once because they don't grow back that quickly. Okay, just keep trimming. You're going to kind of do these outside, these ones here a little bit shorter to round it off. You see, I'm just trimming little tiny bits at a time. Okay. And I don't even need to do that much. All right. Then these two little string pieces that you tied around, you can trim those as well. I want to trim them close so you don't see them. Kind of spread your ball out. Yes, again, this is the second time today that a craft has made me giggle. It's just because I love this one so much. I just think it's adorable. Okay. Then what you can do is take another little piece of string. You can take an ornament hanger, whatever you need to do, a little bit of fishing line, yada yada, tie it around there and hang it in your Christmas tree. Oops. There you go. Oh, something else you could do too. Just take that paper bag that the craft came in, ball it up if you like. Okay, just put it into a ball and you can kind of shove it in there to help form the shape of the hat. Okay, there you go. Little beanie hat Christmas ornament. Fun.